It feels to me like there has been a complete turn on how people view the Knicks in this series based off of just one game. I thought the Knicks would have a chance against Boston, chance to compete maybe more so than some, but I'm not going to go nuts and overreact to one game where it feels like now people legitimately believe the Knicks are going to win this series or the series is almost over after their game one performance.
He comes right in. He jumps right in, doesn't he? Jumps right in. Good to have you back, man. We missed you. Good to have you back, dude. All right, so I don't know that they're going to win the series, but I have definitely changed my opinion on whether or not they can, and there's 3 reasons. So this is evidence. This is not just like, wow, they stole a game, oh my God, wow. No. The Knicks are a different team than they were before they played the Pistons. They are now more connected. That series, and that was hard to go through, Sal. Why is it going 6? Oh, why can't you put these guys away? Oh, this is frustrating. Oh, this is not working. But at the end of the day, that series like accelerated their chemistry. So they're a little different than they were. So that's part of the reason. The other reason for this renewed faith in the Knicks, the other reason is that the Knicks won a road game and took away home court advantage, and they didn't play particularly well. They were out-rebounded by 10. They shot 42% overall, and they missed they hit 17 out of 31 free throws. So it's not like the Celtics played a D game and the Knicks played an A game. The Knicks probably played about a B- or a C+ game, and they still won. And then the other thing is that Celtics are banged up. To what extent, I'm not sure. KP's going tonight. That obviously will change some things for them. But it just seems like Jaylen Brown's diminished, and I don't know when Hauser plays, who's a big piece for them. So you add all that up,
right?
And here we are.
Yeah, but still, to me, it's one game. You think the Celtics are going to shoot that poorly the rest of the series? Probably not.
No. But I don't think the Knicks are going 17 for 31 for the free throw line again.
If Mitchell Robinson keeps shooting that. See, that's the problem. The Knicks, to me, I think there's a difference between hope and true belief. And it seems now that it went from hope, which is what I had. All right. And I was curious. I wanted to see what this team could do in the postseason. We saw what they did against Detroit. As a matter of fact, if they would have beaten the Pistons in 5, as I'm watching that game in real time, I'm saying I'm coming in and I'm picking the Knicks to beat the Celtics. Exactly what Loogie did. That's what I was going to do if the Knicks won in 5. I couldn't do it because of the way that they looked in Game 5 and lost, and I just wouldn't have truly believed it. But I still wanted to see how they match up because we've talked about this for years against Boston. Okay, well, the hypothetical last year, what would have happened? This year, the Celtics are going to crush the Knicks, the regular season record. I wanted to see it. I believed that the disparity wasn't as great as everybody else believed. However, I needed to see it to really believe it. And then you watch Game 1, and they're down 20, getting their doors blown off to a point where I wanted to shut the game off. It was that bad, it looked over. Okay, they come all the way back. Boston continuing to shoot threes, that's what they do. But even within that one game that the Knicks won, and it was nice to see that they could beat Boston even without playing their A game. Do I really believe Boston is going to perform like that the rest of the way? I don't. So I think that there needs to be a little dose of reality here. While it's great that the Knicks were able to finally beat the Celtics and win a game on the road, the Knicks didn't look good at home at all against Detroit. That's not Boston. Porzingis didn't play. That's not really Boston. Boston's not going to miss that many shots. Also, the Knicks have significant flaws. They've got liabilities. They've got a starting two-guard in Josh Hart who can't shoot. They've got a backup center in Mitchell Robinson who every time he gets fouled, he's a liability at the free throw line. And those are just some of the issues. Inconsistent play from Mikal Bridges. He's another issue we could get to. Karl-Anthony Towns, who is kind of a tweener where he's got talent, but he doesn't have any offensive moves. There's no clear.
So you're feeling me a little bit more on this cat stuff. I mean, can you get off a clean shot without it getting grabbed and thrown off your path to the rim? But you're 7-1.
There's no offensive game plan with him. It's okay. Let me get the ball. If I'm open from 3, I'll knock it down.
Or just roll my way to the rim. I'm with you on that.
The Knicks are sloppy with the basketball. So there's a lot of little things that leads me to believe, as much as I hate to say it, because I would love to see the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, especially against the Pacers, I just don't believe that they're good enough, ultimately, to beat the Celtics. And I'm surprised that there's been such a turn, not just from you, but from a lot of, I'm seeing this stuff on social media. I'm hearing it, even though I'm not here, I'm hearing what's going on. There's such a turn after one win against a team that's significantly better than they are.
But I don't think it's as big of a turn as you think. There's a big difference from going, I don't think they can win, to well, maybe they can mess around and win to they're going to win.
Okay.
Like that, there's a big difference there. That's a lot of real estate. And I'm not at that end of the spectrum. And I don't think that I will be unless, from a Boston perspective, somebody goes down like for good.
Yeah. Right.
Like, see, to get to the point that I've gotten to, short of thinking that they will win the series, but now competitive and have a chance,
right.
I had to divorce myself from what my realities were for this team and also for Boston. Now, I wasn't going to just do that to make people feel good. I needed some evidence.
So don't you think then you and I maybe have now kind of met in the middle to where I thought they had a chance, but now I'm being realistic and saying, I don't think they're going to beat them.
I think we're on the same page more than we've been all year, ironically.
And I don't think, though, forget you and I for a second. I think the Knicks fan really believes they're going to win this series.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They're up 1-0. They just took away home court advantage. Hey, Boston's hobbled, Sal. That if they were fully healthy, I'm not even sure if Drew Holiday's right with that hamstring. So Hauser's a guy. I know that it's like, Hauser, whatever. You got Tatum, you got Brown, you got KP, you got this guy, you got Horford, but Hauser plays 21 minutes a game, averages 10 points, shoots 42% from three. I don't know what he's playing again. And what do? They shoot threes. He shoots 6 a game.
Right.
That's a high volume, high percentage of what they try to do. So it's a slight recalibration. I went from thinking, as you know, they got no shot, to I can't wait. I don't know what's going to happen tonight.
So that's why I feel like I'm still the same as I felt before, but I needed to add a dose of reality to some who are making it sound now like the Knicks are going to win this series. I just don't believe it. I wish I was there. I need to see a lot more. Go win tonight.
What if they lose a tight one tonight?
Yeah, I know. I still feel good about that, but you're telling me you wouldn't have question marks about them returning home?
Of course. They haven't played well at the Garden. They've won 4 straight on the road.
But that's the point. So about the stealing home court, in my gut, I wish it meant more to me. It doesn't. I still feel like the Celtics, if they start knocking down these shots, and when they do, they look like a totally different team, it's going to be like, I'm reminded now of how good they are. Remember, too, we're nitpicking, and a lot of people were nitpicking in the first round against the Pistons. Wow, the Knicks barely beat the Pistons. Wow, this, wow, that. So we're going to ignore the fact that they were down 20 in that game on the road. It took a miracle for them to come back and win that game. And then again, they got lucky in overtime because Brunson missed a shot that he should have made to put it away, preventing it from going to overtime. They played well in overtime, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but I don't think they got lucky. Matter of fact, I think the fact that they didn't win in overtime and had to go to overtime against a superior team on the road and still had the wherewithal to win. See, that's why I'm just feeling not incredibly different, but more different. I feel better about this team. You know that I've said this many times. I've hated the way I've felt about the Knicks this year. The other night was one of the few, outside of maybe when they beat Denver twice this year, there were very few wins where I'm like, that's the team that I thought we were getting. Now, again, they didn't play a perfect game, but to me, that is more evidence that their ceiling is higher. Now, to be true, so is Boston's. Boston, they could have missed 45 threes. I understand that, but
and no Porzingis. That's a huge. If you were to tell me.
But Cat played terribly. Cat did nothing from the Knicks' perspective. He scored, 11, 12 points? He played 29, 30 minutes.
But offensively for Boston, it was a big loss not to have Porzingis there. He's a game changer for them. So if you were to tell me going in or tell us going in that Porzingis wasn't going to be a part of game one, you'd feel differently about it going in. Or he wasn't going to be a part of the series, you'd feel differently about the Knicks going into the series. He is a part of the series. He wasn't a part of game one. And looked at all that it took for the Knicks to overcome a 20-point deficit, get back into that game. There were a lot of factors that led to the Knicks getting back in. You give them credit because they won. They did what they had to your point. Overtime especially, because once it went to overtime, you're thinking, oh, no, on the road against a more talented team, going to be tough. Knicks played their asses off. So you give them credit for that. I just feel like it's starting to get a little out of control now. It went from the majority of people not believing that the Knicks had a chance to now the majority of people thinking and expecting the Knicks are going to win this series. And I think there's a big dose of reality right around the corner.
Listen, the answer might be in the middle. Very well might be in the middle. I think the circumstances are what they are. And now Vegas is telling us Knicks are going to get punked tonight. Knicks are 10-point dogs, right? I think they went off at 9 or 9.5. It's actually half a point higher. Now maybe it was bet down, whatever, I don't know. So they're still thinking, kind of an anomaly. But Like, I was waiting for this team to get. Like, did you see the way Josh Hart? Well, we're not surprised when Josh Hart does it, but like the way. Remember the sequence where he had the back-to-back offensive rebounds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember the sequence when I forget whose hands, like he ripped the ball that and he hurt his thumb.
That's what he does.
No, I know, but now Mikal Bridges is starting to do it. He's the one who made that great defensive play at the end of the game with 5 seconds to go to make sure they don't get a shot to tie it. So there are. And by the way, now you were out. I gave you, and this is an off-the-radar number. I gave everybody a number. I said, the magic number, if the Knicks want to really mess around and do something, and I didn't think they were going to do anything going into the series. I admit that. I'm on the record. I'm not running from that. 13. 13 was my magic number for Deuce McBride. One of the reasons the Knicks haven't looked the same this year is because Deuce has not had a good year.
Yeah.
He started the year, his knee was jacked up, he wasn't getting minutes, he wasn't playing, he wasn't shooting well. We all, it's easy to forget the influence he has on the second unit. And what do we complain about all the time with this Knicks team? Except, he
hit some big shots.
Well, we complain maybe a little bit about Tom Thibodeau. Is he great? Or Cat, is he soft?
The bench, the lack of depth.
The bench. So
I still don't think it's any good. But
I'm not saying it's good, but it doesn't. It just can't be awful. And if Deuce is back to being Deuce, that it's a one-game read, but he knocked down 3 triples. That changes so much for this team.
Understood, but that's kind of my point, that it's a one-game thing.
But he did it last year. He's done it before. Yeah. It's not like this is the first game he's ever had. He just has not been in the flow this year. They just look, all I'm saying is they look a little different, and I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to ride that wave. I'm not going nuts. I give them a chance to win tonight. If they lose by 15, I wouldn't be stunned, but even if they do, hey, see you Saturday at the Garden 1-1.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Dino is in Bayside, Queens. What's up, Dino?
Sal, welcome back. BT, what's up, baby? Yankees, baby, let's go.
What's up, buddy?
You got to believe in the faith in the Knicks, the execution. Look at the Dodgers-Mets. The Dodgers beat him that year. Look at Tyson Douglas. He got up after getting knocked out. It's the faith, baby. It's not the plays right now. It's the believe in the team, and their execution at the end of the game, to me, was unbelievable, period. We gonna go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, see, you have to believe, Dino, and thank you for the call. I think it's part of our responsibility to call it like it is and be more realistic. The fan in me says, yeah, I want to just suspend my true belief and root for the Knicks, but I have to be realistic about what I'm seeing here. I want the Knicks to win as much as anybody. I was locked into that game, yelling and screaming in game 1. I want to believe in this team. But the overreaction that I saw afterward, to me, is people ignoring the reality of what the Knicks are. It doesn't mean that they cannot win the series. Hey, look, maybe somebody else gets hurt tonight. Maybe Porzingis is really sick. Maybe the Knicks just play their A game and there's nothing Celtics can do about it. Who knows? But there's a long way to go. And to go from where the majority felt about the Knicks prior to game 1 to where now it feels like the majority have swung to post game 1, to me is not right. It's somewhere in between. Knicks have a chance. You got to be realistic. And I think the Celtics played an awful game. You won't be seeing that again from Boston.
Yeah, they played poorly. And they're a proud group. So I expect a team that's going to come out and play very different and be much, well, not different stylistically, but certainly be much more efficient. Listen, and by the way, Sal, I think the other thing that's gassing up some Knicks fans here, now last night just added to it. You peek over to the other series. Oh, wow. The Pacers won the first game. Oh, wow. Pacers won the second game. Why not? If the Pacers win 2 more and the Knicks can win 3 more, guess who hosts the Eastern Conference Final? The Knicks.
This is what I mean. You're getting carried away.
But no, that's not
one game.
No, hold on. Yeah. But that's not, see, this is where you and I fundamentally disagree. I don't think it's an overreaction. I think it's a reaction to the circumstances. That's where you and I disagree.
But what are the circumstances? It's a series.
Of course it's a series. Did you think the Knicks would win game 1? Honestly.
No.
Okay, me neither.
No. I thought they'd get at least 2 in this series, though.
Okay, I wasn't. I don't know if I even said. I made a bet.
I was going to bet it. Obviously, I had stuff going on, so I didn't actually bet it the way that I wanted to. But I did bet one of my buddies where I got the Knicks at 2.5 in the series.
Oh, you did?
Meaning that all they had to do was win 2 games in the series. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good bet.
Most people were expecting the Knicks to get swept or lose in 5.
Wait, so you're betting buddies now? Like this was not like on a
no. I didn't do a legit website thing. Yeah.
All right, well, that's interesting. I got you. And hope. Listen, I hope we all hope that you win that because that means we got a chance to win the series.
But even with that, it's still like, all right, all they got to do is win 2 games. I know it's an uphill battle to even win the 2 games against Boston.
But don't you feel better about it that they already bagged 1?
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
But I still don't feel great. Like
I don't feel great either. Okay. But I just feel better than I did.
Well, I got you. Mike is on. Mike is at Oceanside. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
What's up, Mike?
Good to have you back, Sal.
Thank you. Appreciate it. What's up, Mike?
Knicks in 6.
There we go, Mike.
Yeah.
Tell him, Mikey.
Just listen. Just listen. The Knicks have the full complement of what they thought they were going to be now. They haven't had this all season. They gelled through the Piston series. You know, they outlasted the toughness and the beatings of the 90s style basketball that was being played. And now they're going in there. Boston's a little bit hobbled up. And now Knicks in 6. I don't care what you say. Call me crazy. Knicks.
Well, what did you feel
6.
before the series, Mike? What was your prediction before the series?
I felt like they would give them a good shot. I felt like they have their.
Well,
Yeah, but you
prediction?
didn't think the Knicks were going to win in 6 going into before they won game 1. I certainly didn't.
No. I thought it was going to be 7. There's no way that I thought.
All right.
But now with this,
See,
I'm telling you,
I know. And then after tonight, and thank you for the call. After tonight, now I hope it doesn't happen. But if the Celtics pace the Knicks by 20-plus points, I think there's going to be a little dose of reality and then a little more, as opposed to excitement for Game 3,
A little more balance going into Saturday?
Yes, I think things will
Yeah,
even out. Now, if the Knicks won tonight,
Oh, forget about it.
then
Forget about it, dude.
I think you could say, okay, well, it's not just one game.
Yeah.
Now they've won 2 games on the road against a team that they weren't supposed to be able to beat. So that to me would be a different story.
Yep.
I can't go nuts after just one game, especially when I expected the Knicks to somewhat, at the very least, compete in this series. Now, there are a lot of positives for the Knicks themselves to believe that they could actually beat Boston.
That's one of them.
Yeah, well, even though they played well against them the last time they played them and they just came up short, beating them is a different story.
Sure.
Now they know that they don't even have to be at their best and they could beat Boston. Once you draw blood, it's like, okay, he's human. That we understand. Exactly, he's cut. So now they have that belief, which makes them very dangerous. I just worry that we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here with how good Boston is.
All right, so this is a weird way to look at it, but look at this in like mathematical increments. You start in terms of a belief or a level of conviction from fans, right? Before the series, it was whatever. And I know it varies, but you know what mine was. I was thinking Celtics in 5, maybe Celtics in 6, right?
Right, okay.
When the Knicks, I never said it, but that's where I was obviously leaning. When you look at the fact that the Knicks already won 1, that's going to literally represent I don't think it's irresponsible, a 25% increase in either confidence or excitement or a little bit of both, because you literally, you just, to win, you got to win 25, 25,
right.
25, 25. So it's almost like splitting up a mathematical pie. So the reason for me why it's a little more than the 25 is because I see Boston hobbled. That to me,
but Porzingis is playing. If he wasn't
I understand
playing, Hauser,
that. I know, but I don't think Hauser is, and I
Brown's
don't think
been banged up for a while.
Well, that's kind of the reason.
But we've known that for a while.
I understand that, but Jalen, I know. But I think it's a slightly different Knicks team than they were coming out of the Pistons series. Like, it's funny, like going through that, I'm like, man, couldn't we just get the Magic and just beat them in 4? I know the Magic won one game as well, but like winning 4 or 5 and just smoke a young team that just happened to be here. No. And so while it was frustrating in real time, at the end of the day, I mean, they had a real sparring partner. So when they step into the bigger ring, you know, they're ready to deliver some different shots. Like the Knicks, like they didn't look right to me this year. They looked just a little different the other night, and I'm riding that, and I'm pumped.
There's many more layers that I want to get into. Tibbs, Bridges, a lot more, and the positives with the Knicks as well. Just even the fact that they're here. I love the fact that we get to dive into these series, talk about it. It killed me not to be able to be here and react to some of these games. So it's great to be back with you and great to be talking Knicks in the postseason. All right, guys, Mark Cuban and Peter Jones